The biggest limitation in many high-end systems isn't the gear. It's the assumption that great components will automatically make a great system. I reviewed the Wattson Madison Streamer on its own with headphones and thought it was exceptional. Then I heard the full Madison Trio with loudspeakers and realized I'd been evaluating it in isolation, not in context. You can absolutely build a fantastic system by mixing brands, but when components are engineered to work together from day one, the difference between sounds great and nothing is holding you back becomes obvious. Here's what you need to understand about the Madison Trio: the Madison Streamer, the Madison Power S, and the Madison Amplifier. This is a component stack that prioritizes neutrality and accuracy, but never at the expense of musicality. That balance, where details emerge naturally without feeling analytical, is exactly what Wattson Audio achieved here. To put this system to the test, we set it up in our demo room with the Focal Sopra No. 2 loudspeakers. The Sopras are like the final boss of loudspeakers. If you play video games, you get that reference. And if you want to test the performance of a unit, pair it with the Sopras. Now here's what the configuration looked like. Madison Power S connected to the Madison Streamer. The Madison Streamer is connected to the network via a Bronze Dragon network cable. The amps then connected to the Sopras with our Bronze Dragon speaker cables and set to stereo mode, 26 dB gain, and 8 ohms impedance. You could easily pair the Madison Trio with a pair of smaller bookshelf speakers like the Focal Aria Evo X No. 1s, or you could listen with headphones through the Streamer's 1/4-inch headphone jack on the front. Myself personally, I wasted little to no time connecting the Streamer to the Wattson Music app, logging into Qobuz, and blasting Bad Bunny's latest album, Debi Tirar Uma Foto. The entire system delivered a sound quality with this genuine depth, energy, and details that revealed themselves naturally. I listened comfortably the entire time at a volume level in between 40 to 50%, but when it was really time to crank it up and see what the amp was capable of, I was floored by how effortlessly it handled the demands that I put on it. Details emerged from the left channel during Michael Jackson's hit Billie Jean, and then the low end in Tyla's song Truth or Dare emerged with authority and weight. From Bad Bunny to Michael Jackson, Tyla, and Lily Allen, the entire listening experience was nothing short of awesome. Whether it was the rhythmic flow of reggae or the nuance of jazz and classical passages, the Madison system conveyed my favorite songs with authenticity and emotion. And here's the cherry on top of it all. I never had to get up and adjust the volume or skip a track. From the comfort of my listening chair, I controlled that volume level and selected new tracks on the iPad via the Wattson Music app. Which brings me to something equally important as sound quality. How does this trio actually function in daily use? The Madison Trio separates itself from the mix and match approach not because they're all the same brand, color, and shape, but because everything works together through one unified interface. The Wattson Music app gives you comprehensive control over both the Streamer and the amplifier. Once the Streamer is detected, you have immediate access to Tidal, Qobuz, Arable radio stations, and your local UPnP DLNA media servers. No juggling between apps, no wondering which interface controls what. The Wattson Music app is intuitive and it's incredibly easy to use. From the second that you turn the Madison unit on, the app will automatically detect and connect to the device. Within the app, you can adjust settings, view the latest firmware updates, and then obviously enjoy your music. And if you're a Roon or Audiophile user, there's something here for you too. The Madison Streamer is Roon ready and it integrates seamlessly with Audiophile's playback engine. So you're not locked into one ecosystem. You're getting flexibility without frustration. And speaking of constraints, the Madison Amplifier isn't locked into one configuration either. On the back panel sit 3 little switches, each wielding immense power. The output switch right here in the middle lets you toggle between stereo, bi-amplification, or monophonic mode. Stereo mode delivers 50 watts per channel into 8 ohms, scaling to 100 watts into 2 ohms. Bi-amp mode routes the left input to both amplification channels, perfect for vertically bi-amping speakers with dual binding post. And then mono mode, that devotes the entire power supply to a single channel. So for those power-hungry speakers, or just simply complex loads, you get doubled current delivery. For that mode, you will need 2 Madison amps, so there is that you have to take into consideration, but that flexibility is already built in from day one. And then that first switch right here, that's dedicated to impedance selection. This will let you optimize the amp's performance based on the type of speakers that you're connecting them to. 8 ohms for speakers with a nominal impedance of 8 ohms or higher, hence the Sopras, 4 ohms for speakers with an impedance of 4 ohms, and 2 ohms for speakers with an impedance below 4 ohms. And then that last switch, the third one right here, that's for gain selection, with 26 dB or 20 dB, so you can easily match the output level of the preamplifier or source device you're pairing with the amp. The Madison amplifier adapts to your speakers, not the other way around. Now, where does the Madison Power S fall into this equation? Well, it's the perfect pairing for the Madison Streamer, designed exclusively as the companion for this unit. While the Madison Streamer comes with a basic stock power supply, the Power S is a massive upgrade replacement. In high-end audio, the power supply is often the most undervalued piece of the puzzle. By swapping in the Power S, you're providing a cleaner, more stable foundation that allows the streamer to perform at its absolute peak. It's also an intelligent partner. The Madison Power S automatically switches to low power mode when the streamer goes into standby. Press and hold the streamer's control button, and the entire system intelligently powers down. Active protection circuits monitor current, voltage, and temperature, cutting output instantly if there's ever a problem. And the LED on the front panel communicates system status at a glance. Earlier, I mentioned the cables I used to connect the Madison Trio together. Now, without going back, can you remember what those cables were? I'll give you a hint. They weren't the included stock cables, not that there's any harm in using those. For our configuration, and yours too if you're ready to upgrade, the Bronze Dragon network cable, Bronze Dragon Premium interconnect cable, and Bronze Dragon speaker cable are our top recommendations. Each one of these cables is built for zero interference with high quality materials and high quality shielding, ensuring that nothing stands between you and your music. When details matter the most and you want that authentic listening experience, choose a Dragon audio cable. Let's talk about what the Madison Trio actually looks like in your space, because this is where the ecosystem approach delivers unexpected benefits. All three components share the same design language and that compact form factor. The Madison Streamer and Power S supply are designed to stack with the streamer sitting perfectly on top. In the amplifier, though slightly larger, it's still dramatically smaller than traditional separates. Stack them and pair the amplifier next to each other, or have all three sit separately. That's your choice. The entire system occupies minimal real estate, be it on your equipment rack, your shelf, your credenza, you name it. Each system features a precision-milled aluminum chassis carved from a solid billet, and it's available in two finishes, light gray and dark gray. With me here today, I've got the light gray finish. The material choice of each chassis provides mechanical stability and electromagnetic isolation. All three units feature really clean front panels. The streamer shows just the logo, the 1/4-inch headphone jack, 4 LED indicator lights for status monitoring, and then your digital volume knob. The amplifier keeps it even simpler, with a logo, a physical power button, and 4 status LEDs. The power supply, a logo, and single power indicator light. Now the back panels are where thoughtful design meets practical functionality. The streamer's back panel features a DC input for that power supply, an Ethernet network port, an SPDIF input on Toslink, an SPDIF input with RCA, a pair of RCA analog outputs, and a pair of XLR outputs. And that power supply keeps it minimal with a physical power port, that physical power switch, and a DC out port to feed the streamer. That's it. No complexity, no confusion. On the amplifier's back panel sits an Ethernet network port and then an input for your connected power supply. For signal, you've got a pair of RCA and XLR analog inputs. Then comes the switches that transform how this amplifier operates, the 3-mode output switch in the middle, the impedance selection switch on the left, and then the gain selection switch on the right. And then to round it out, right here on the bottom, we've got our speaker outputs, and for our listening session, we used the locking banana connectors on our speaker cable. Here's what matters for day-to-day use. The Madison Trio removes friction. You're not navigating multiple remotes, multiple apps, or mismatched interfaces. The Wattson Music app controls playback. The amp's front panel switches inputs with a short button press. The streamer's volume control is intuitive and responsive, and that headphone jack means late night listening doesn't require additional equipment. And because the Trio is compact and stackable, you're not dedicating an entire wall to components. And if you've been putting off upgrading because you don't have space for that traditional rack full of separates, The Madison series removes that barrier completely. If you're tired of equipment that looks impressive, but it demands constant attention, don't worry. The Madison series respects your time. Wattson Audio's Madison Trio proves that precision engineering beats brute force every time, especially when your components are actually designed to work together. If you've been putting off upgrading because you don't have the space for that massive rack, or you're just tired of juggling 3 different apps just to play music, the Madison Trio solves both problems without any compromising. This is a low-profile system that stacks beautifully, takes up minimal real estate, and it gives you everything that you need in one app. If you want to see how the Madison series fits into Wattson Audio's complete product philosophy, including their iconic Emerson series, we did a full brand overview that will give you the context that you need to decide which system is right for your setup. Click that video right here, check it out, and we'll see you next time for another hi-fi video.